points back here.
Right, so the Windvein mounted right
Those
there.
are the 3 connection points.
Right there.
1, 2, and 3.
Right there.
And you know, it stands up to about here. And above this is the wind paddle.
Okay.
Those wood things. Okay, and then on that crossbar that you saw is the fine tuning control lines. That's where you set it for the wind points. And what I did is it has a relatively short pull cord that you just keep turning it until you get it set the way you want it. And what I did is I connected a bungee cord to the end of that and then just snapped the bungee cord onto here. And then I could reach over, because you don't do that very often. But you know, when you want to change your direction, that's the way you change your direction, is by pulling on that. Then,
Go ahead, Larry.
Okay, then the control lines, see that other big piece that we put in, the second piece we put in, that sticks down in the water. And that's where the thing gets the power to steer. That stainless steel paddle is going to go like this. And if the boat changes direction, then it gets like that. And the water pressure straightens it back up. That moves the control lines. The control lines turn the wheel and straighten the boat out. So that's how it holds. It doesn't follow a compass.
Right, right.
It follows the wind.
It's not digital.
No, this one is. But the wind vanes are mechanical.
Okay.
So, you know, you set it for the wind point. And, you know, if the wind is hitting the boat like this, which is really one of the ideal, it's called a beam reach. So if it's hitting the sails like this, you set your sails for that, and then you set this for a beam reach. If the wind shifts either way, that'll cause that boat to turn, and it'll cause that paddle to be moved off. The paddle will, the water pressure will straighten the paddle out. When the paddle moves, that turns the wheel. So that's the way the things work.
All right.
Most people don't do all this other stuff. They just take the control lines, put a block, a snatch block or something over here, and then run the lines to the, or actually you'd have to run it so it was a straight pull.
Gotcha.
There.
Right over to the mechanism that attaches here.
But then you're going to have these lines.
They'd have to crawl over
taking
and
up the cockpit. And I was on this thing for 6 months down in French Polynesia. I didn't need anything taken over the cockpit for me.
Sure.
So I wanted it like this.
Larry, let me ask you really quick. I got a minute and 42 seconds. What again mounted here at these 3 holes, or these
Okay.
3 spots?
Nothing here.
Okay.
Just these 2. That was the turning blocks.
The turning blocks. Okay.
And these holes then are what the lines went through. So the control lines went from the wind vane to the turning block and then down through the hole. And then down in here, you see that nice new looking wood there? That's a bulkhead that we had to build in order for it to go straight down. We brought it down to the point that it was right below this, that it would clear this.
That was the purpose of the block underneath here, to clear that?
Well, no, the purpose, well, that, yes.
Okay.
But also the purpose of putting that full bulkhead in, that's where the second set of turning blocks were attached.
Were mounted, okay.
So the lines went straight down through here to another turning block. Then they went across the bottom to the third set of turning blocks that were mounted right underneath this.
I see.
Came straight up into
What was the
drum.
device called that sits right here? Metal
that's
guide?
just a custom made, I call it a control line guide.
Okay.
that was just a custom made piece
Gotcha. Oh, I see. Okay.
that we